Metro Detroit, this is HBL Radio Nation. Yes, it is. I'm Brian P. Gallagher.
And I'm Diane Russell.
Thank you for joining us again this wonderful Thursday.
Holy
crap. A few
cat.
things have happened this week
Holy
as well.
crap, Brian. Jesus.
We're not want for news these days.
It's been a week of MAGA lunacy. I mean, we've had MAGA lunacy before, but it's exposed. It's in plain sight. It is literally rake stepping and face planting all over the place. Like, these guys can't shut up.
That's because they were so proud about the Russia hoax thing that they were pushing. They're so proud about that, strutting around like the pigeons on the chessboard, stepping into the rake, slamming them into their face.
Who's the guy on The Simpsons that does that all the time? I can't think of his
Sideshow Bob.
Sideshow Bob. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I just want to. That's all I see.
Yeah.
Like, every time they open their mouths,
the whistleblowers was terrible.
I just see the rake going in Sideshow Bob's over and over and over and over and over again.
Just and constantly not learning from, if I turn to the left, I'm going to step on this rake. No, every time you turn to the left, you're going to step on that rake, and every time they turn to the left. So
and they step on the rake.
And they step on the rake, and they,
and they look.
They step right into it every time. I don't think
they even fucking, like, really realize how bad they really look. Like, I think they're really delusional. This Comer cat coming out and being like, oh, Joe Biden's taking money from Chinese and ding, 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 bing, bing, bang. You want to know how many connections there are to fucking Trump and China? What about the $17 million secret fucking bank account he had during his administration, and the next day he takes out $15 million? Boom, like that. What? Nothing?
Trump Tower, nothing? Shanghai?
You got crickets on that one?
Anywhere that he's going to be doing business, he's got all kinds of stuff going on.
How about, the trademarks of Ivanka?
Ivanka?
How many fucking trademarks does she have? 40, 50 fucking trademarks with fucking China? So, they're accusing Biden of having influence and peddling against the United States of America because the Bidens have given $10 million out to their family members in the last 2 years. Did you forget that Biden wrote a book and maybe he's given money to his kids and his fucking grandkids and his fucking family members? Because it's like, he lives kind of humbly. He doesn't have 50 million fucking locations of all these fucking properties. He's got 2 houses.
Yep. And their whistleblower.
Yeah.
Their non-existent whistleblower is in the same envelope as Hunter Biden's laptop when Tucker Carlson went to mail it in the U.S. Postal Service. If you remember that whole fake story.
Yes, I do. How about, tell me again. Okay, so what about influence over the government does this, tell me what the $2 billion to Kushner from MBS represents. I want to know. Is that influence peddling? Would you say that's influence peddling?
I'd say that's beyond influence peddling. That's flat out buying.
I'm just asking a question, just like Tucker would. Just asking. What about the $2 billion? What about the Apollo and Citigroup having meetings in the Oval Office with Trump, and then they eventually paid off Kushner's mortgages at the 666 building? Really? That's stuff. Not influence peddling? Like, you guys are trying to gaslight America into fucking oblivion. Gaslight projection. So tell them Biden's doing it when it's already something we know that Trump has done. And then project and be like, we need to defund the FBI and the IRS, the VA, and everything.
Just look at how they vote.
What the fuck? You guys are just...
that people don't do. They listen to hyperbole and they don't look at how these people vote. And when you look at how they vote, you'll see that everyone who's claiming there's a big border crisis, has voted against funding for the border, has voted against securing the border. It's absolutely ridiculous that it's the big government version of why are you hitting yourself?
You mean the Senate, the House, the Congress.
And how they
when
vote.
They bitch about the border,
yeah.
all they do is vote against it.
Absolutely.
When they say that guns are not the problem, it's mental health, and they defund mental health.
Defunded mental health, yeah.
Everything is hypocrisy, gaslighting, and projection. That's all I see.
I don't think it's
MAGA lunacy, the
name
of the title of our show tonight.
After they opened up all the mental health facilities, and when they shut them all down, it wasn't too long after that we got MTG and Bobo. So I think that there might be something included in there. I don't know. Just there might be a pattern. I don't know.
No, you can go on. You can go the $10 million that went to Erdogan, the $75 million to stop the probe into Jolo and Brody. Do you know that? So do you remember the Brody guy who owns Overstock?
Bitch.
Yeah, you got Trump International Hotel and every foreign delegation that came into D.C.
Yep.
Who got suites of rooms while they were visiting, and it's all money.
Mostly the taxpayers' money, yeah. Mostly our money that paid for all that, yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is he was getting paid by all these foreign
that money
diplomats
went right in his
to
pocket.
go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
How about the $14 million that we spent in taxpayer money while he went golfing?
Oh, yeah.
And he charged the Secret Service for a room
to stay
and
at his
board
own
and
place.
to take a piss.
Yep.
And Ivanka and Jared making the Secret Service rent another house so they could take a piss and a shit.
No respect.
Because they wouldn't let them piss and shit in their house.
Yeah.
While they were supposedly protecting them.
I remember that story. That's crazy.
Mean,
yeah.
The thing is, it's a shit host. And there's even every now and again, there'll be something that comes up. I'll be like, holy shit. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, that's what they hope. They
because it's
try to delay everything for so long that you don't remember these things later on. And that's what they hope for. That's what their delay tactics are all about. That's why they push every appeal out. That's why they push every possible defense out there that they possibly can to push this out as far as they can, hoping that people are going to forget about it. And then they can say it's fake, it's old. Why are you coming after this after me now for this? Well, they came after you right at the fact, but you've delayed it in court so long up until now is why it's just catching up to you.
The appeals, every single solitary time something happens to Trump, he appeals it.
And
but
appeals
guess
and
what?
appeals and appeals, yeah.
Every time he gets shot down, too.
That's true, but he knows that it's a delay tactic.
It's a delay tactic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he knows that.
Yep.
And then he's like, oh, I'm not going to give everybody the information. We have, I didn't even get to this freaking story, but we have information now that the National Archives knows he still has goddamn documents. And the National Archives gave 16 documents to Jack Smith in the document Mar-a-Lago case. I think it was yesterday. I didn't even get to this thing because it broke last night. And I was like, I'm too tired. My arm hurts from writing down all the fucking fuckery that has been going on.
Fucking Democrat.
I'm tired. But I was like, okay, good. Now you've got Trump on his fucking fake Twitter freaking out about the documents case. So we had a bet last week saying that you thought Georgia would get him. I think the documents are going to get him.
I think it's a fake electors. That's what's going to get what's going to get him in jail. That's what we were.
Yeah. But the document case seems to be more on his mind, which makes me think that it might be coming down the pike.
We'll see.
How about no?
It might be. It could drop any minute.
In this case,
Same
I
with
think
the
I
Georgia
would say
case.
It's coming down the pipe, mostly because it's probably like a big orange turd like him. That's.
Think I'm gonna barf.
Yes, as well you should after that.
You know, I had this thing with my old band can't
that's a
hear
loud one.
anything. That's very loud. I can't hear anything. I had this thing with my old band in Florida, and we would try to get each other every time we were taking a drink, just like you are right now. I would try to say something funny to make you fucking make it come out your nose, because it happened over and over and over and over again. Those guys almost got me several times, but never really fully got me. But I got them. And Tony got them. A couple times. It was like a thing. Every time you see him pick it up and go like this, you're like, yeah, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? What am I going to say? You know, like. And then something would come out and they were just like, and just, it was like a thing. We would try to catch each other, but you just got me that time. Like,
okay.
it was all close. Right. It was close. All right.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Don't try to do it to me all the time. I'll get mad.
No problem. I won't be doing my Stephen Hawking impersonation. I do a filthy Stephen Hawking, which,
God.
yeah. That was it, actually. It was
right.
crickets was the sound of it.
So, yeah, the whole Trump and the whole fucking Chinese thing, and tell me again about the Biden crime family. Really? Really?
We have
you
evidence.
have found
impeachment papers are going to get filed today.
Motherfucking shit. You got zilch, zero, nada, nothing.
MTG just filed papers against the White House janitor, apparently, for impeachment. Breaking news. You heard it right here. Hibblers on HBL Radio Nation. Like and subscribe. And
She's
donate.
been on impeachment terror. I think she has brought up articles of impeachment about 50, 60 times. I don't know.
This
I'd have
week,
to, like, really
she's
do
brought
a
up
count.
like 2 a day this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really crazy. It's a week full of impeachment specials. And
She's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
yeah. I guess this is all in retaliation because she's really upset that she found out that she wasn't allowed to try to impeach Hunter Biden. So
You dick.
they had
These
to.
motherfuckers. Why are they going
They had
after
to
a
go after
private
it.
citizen who's not in government?
I don't know, but I'm never going to vote for Hunter Biden again.
Yeah, I mean, what? Like, I don't even know what to say. It's so dumb. It is so dumb. I have like a really hard time imagining how these motherfuckers twist themselves.
When Hunter
into
Biden
these.
never was in the White House. He never
You
held
got
a staff
Kushner,
position.
you've got
nothing.
Ivanka, you've got.
They all worked in the White House. Yeah,
as
that's
advisors,
the problem. Yeah.
and they made
Yep.
$640 million and the $2 billion.
And Elyanka was a professional seat warmer, actually. In when heads of state were around and Trump needed to go poo poo,
Yeah.
he would leave the room and
she would
let
sit right.
and she would sit in Daddy's
And she
chair.
would at least wear perfume so she didn't smell like shit.
When his and
His
I know
diaper
that those,
was leaking. Yeah.
yeah,
Fucking A.
that diaper's always full. You know that thing is full.
Can you imagine?
You know he's
The
not getting the
ketchup-
fiber. He's not getting the fiber he needs.
Can
in
you
that
imagine the
shitty golf
ketchup
motel.
on the wall of Mar-a-Lago like every day right now?
Oh yeah,
He must be shitting a brick.
they're
I
dense
said
from
this
all the
last
chicken nuggets
week.
being thrown
I said
against
this
him.
last week. I was like, this motherfucker's got to be shitting in his pants. Like,
More than usual.
more than usual.
More than usual.
And more than literally.
Very important note.
More than literally.
Yes. More than literally. Wow.
Be water, my friend.
No.
Esoterically
In his head.
shitting. Yes.
Well, you see his post, and when you look at his post, he's
Oh, yeah.
fucking
He's
off
rage.
the rails right now.
He's rage truthing at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Pounding it out with his little tiny little thumbs. That's why he can type so much, is he's got those tiny little thumbs that can hit all the. I mean, he's
really
not going to
quick.
miss time.
He's
I mean,
good
he's going to
at
hit
it.
him really
He's
quick.
really
Yeah.
good at it. He's so good at it.
He just misspells everything because he's a fucking moron.
You know, I wanted to hit this because it was like a thing that got buried. And by the way, we do have a guest coming into the show. Andrea Brower is going to be with us tonight in about, I don't know, 15, maybe 20 minutes. She said she would text me when she's ready. So, but I wanted to hit this because even though Jeffrey Epstein is dead, I wanted to hit. There's so many fucking awful subjects this week.
Elon Musk.
There
got
should be
subpoenaed in
a
this one,
fucking content warning on just when I say Jeffrey Epstein's name. Content warning. I'm going to say the word Jeffrey Epstein because it just brings up all this disgusting shit, right? Yeah. But the Deutsche Bank, the German bank,
yes,
will pay $75 million settlement to the victims of Jeffrey Epstein from his estate, which I think
for basically laundering money for Jeffrey Epstein, which he used to facilitate trafficking underage girls.
A proposed class action suit alleges the bank had helped enable Epstein traffic girls by missing warning signs in his account. Yeah, you think, motherfucker? Like, I don't even know. Yeah, the German bank's relationship with the disgraced financier, it started in 2013, went to 2018. He died in 2019. $75 million will be made available to more than 125 victims.
Mm-hmm. Those
What's
are
the
the
math
known
on
victims
that?
there.
What's the math on that? 125.
No, it's
No,
the
wait.
million. It's the
75
million
divided by 125. What's that? Anybody got a calculator? I don't have one on me.
We all have them on ours.
There's like 25 of them in this room.
An indictment.
So, yeah. I'll go on while you're doing the math. Yeah, he died while he was in federal custody waiting for a trial on sex trafficking charges. This sick fuck. Previously, a fund from his estate, $125 million to his victims and $20 million to settlements to other victims. And J.P. Morgan Chase stopped doing business with him, like, abruptly.
That would only be $600,000 per person, but you got to remember that the attorney's probably taken a big chunk of that. So
hell
if we
yeah,
knock
yeah.
40% off of that, just for attorney fees and whatever
Right.
that's going to be, and then they're going to get probably about $240,000. Probably knock that in half for the taxes that they would get on it. Because like if you win a game show, you pay half of that in tax. Same thing here. So about $120,000 apiece.
For lifelong traumatization.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
That's
I don't even know what else
that doesn't
to say.
equate.
Right,
it doesn't
right,
equate.
Yeah.
So,
After, J.P. Morgan Chase stopped doing business abruptly after being his primary bank for 15 years. They were like, fuck you, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And then he went to Deutsche in fucking 2013. In 2013, what? That's only 2 years before Trump announced. Do you know what I'm saying? And Deutsche Bank
but Trump
is connected
was
to fucking...
has always been a customer of Deutsche Bank.
All this fucking shit is so connected. You can barely get it. It's like a spider web of fucking corruption.
I wonder if the Mango Mussolini actually introduced Epstein to Deutsche Bank, because that Epstein was using Ghislaine to go down to the Mar-a-Lago and recruit from there, because he lived like basically across the street from Mar-a-Lago.
Fucktard.
Yeah. So you have to wonder, is Trump the reason that he got involved with Deutsche Bank?
2 years before he announces?
Oh, of
and
course.
he's like, oh, my bank just dropped. J.P. Morgan just told me to go fuck myself and take my money and go somewhere else. They literally told me to take my hundreds of $1 million and say, fuck you. We don't want your fucking stinking fucking money here. They must have seen something they didn't like and said, fuck off.
So somebody, like everything else, like
After
the Harvey
you've been a
Weinstein
fucking-
thing, people knew. People knew that this was going on for a long time. People knew it was obvious, but only a few people, they didn't come forward, but they actually stepped up and said, we're not going to do business with you anymore.
Quietly.
Yeah, we're not going to, I'm not going to call the cops on you, but I'm not coming over to your house anymore, or whatever, that type of a thing. So
fucking bullshit.
They should have, but
yeah,
maybe that was part of a business deal.
The good thing is that the Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, got $105 million from his estate to settle a lawsuit by the government to recover tax benefits it had rewarded to one of Epstein's businesses in St. Thomas. Same thing that happened with the U.S. government tax when they gave Trump $70 million, and now they're trying to give it back. Do you know what I'm talking about, this case? Yeah. So, same shit, but U.S. Virgin Islands got the fucking $105 million back. $105 million. These people are so corrupt and sick and disgusting. I put people like Trump and Epstein and Putin and several others in this category of really Giuliani, really devious, fucked up fucking people. DeSantis.
I count on 40 to 60% of the population to be like that. That's my
I don't think it's
take.
that high. I think it's about 17-20%.
I look sideways at about 40 to 60% of the population. I'm thinking, oh, you're up to stuff. You're into some stuff.
So, just to finish the story, in 2008, Epstein pleaded guilty in Florida to soliciting prostitution from a teenage girl, and had to register as a sex offender.
But got a slap on the wrist on that.
Got a slap on the wrist when it was able to get in and out of jail, and that's just. We all know the rest of the story. If you don't know the story, it's so sick. The deep dive on it is disgusting. So
he had so
when you
many
have 125
victims,
victims, you have 125 victims
that were willing to come forward, that were identified, that were still alive, that were not, that were traumatized, but not traumatized so much that they couldn't come forward.
Because they say 1/3 of women come forward. If that's 1/3, you're talking about 500, right?
Right around, 400
or 500.
Well, 400. 375.
You're a goddamn disgrace.
You get up into the hundreds, and you're a monster at that point. I mean, you're a monster to begin with, with these a-holes. But, you're a special kind of...
It's not like it just started. It has been going on. How about Bill Barr's daddy hired him at that private fucking school to become a math teacher when he had no fucking credentials at an all-girls private school. It started then. It started 40, 50 fucking years ago.
Miss Teen USA, Trump walking around backstage as he told Howard Stern on the Howard Stern show. I mean, that clip is out there. Anyone can pull that up.
I could roll my eyes back in my head so far back I'd fall fucking over. Because if you don't see this, I don't know how you cannot see all this.
These guys are complete victimizers.
How can you cannot?
They look for victims to victimize. That's what they do. They hunt.
How come you cannot connect? Now I'm not saying you and I. I'm not saying Tony. I'm saying not even our listeners. How come the right and people who support these people cannot connect the dots? How come they can't see it?
Because
they call us groomers and baby eaters.
They don't want to because of the tribalism. Because they're in their tribe and they don't want to be kicked out of their tribe. They now see how cutthroat it is. They now see how they're in that school of sharks.
It's a fucking cult.
And if they try to turn, if they even question anything, the rest of the sharks are just going to turn and devour them, or worse yet to them, kick them out on their own, because then they have no one. And that's a bigger fear than they have than facing the truth.
That's right. It's like
so
Scientology.
To it. Yeah.
Scientology, they say, you have to get rid of your family and any non-believers and blah, 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 blah. And we're going to take your money and your fucking identity and your fucking life. And then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
When we finally hit you with Zeno and the Galactic
Zeno
Council.
is, but yeah.
It's after when you've gotten to the top tier of Scientology, they tell you the real story, which I'll tell you at some point.
Is the lizard thing
It's essentially like space
Lizards.
lizards. Yeah.
Black eyes like a doll's eye.
I'm like, I know Leah Remy or Remney or whatever.
Ramini, yep.
Yeah. And then we watched that show. Tony
Yeah.
and I watched her Scientology show.
Yeah.
It's like a cult.
It is a cult. It flat out
MAGA
is a cult.
is
MAGA's a cult.
the MAGA
Christianity's a cult.
lunacy.
Religions are cults. Yeah,
We
everything.
just watched these people just face plant and take a shit on their own fucking party. They don't. It's so obvious they don't care about people. They don't want to help. They're chaos agents. You know, the debt ceiling, and I really haven't even really covered the debt ceiling here because
The upcoming default special right here on
I have
HBL
not
Radio Nation.
really covered it that much because I'm like, Joe Biden's just going to do the 14th Amendment and be like, fuck y'all. Sit and
Maybe.
No
spin.
respect.
Maybe. I don't know. I honestly
he's gonna do it.
question the legality behind. I think they would somehow.
It's the 14th Amendment and Constitution. He's going to sign it. The bills are going to get paid. You want it to go to fucking court? Let it fucking go to court.
Right.
But our fucking bills are paid. And guess
I
what?
don't
The
think it's
court
all
is
the
going to
bills.
say it's in the Constitution.
Right, but I read the amendment, and I don't think it's all the bills. I think it's only very specific bills that they're looking at. So I think that there would still be some outstanding stuff, and there would still be some infrastructure that wouldn't get paid.
It specifically says we pay our bills. And this is a bill, and we pay it. And our deficit didn't start until the 1970s. So if you fucking want to talk about fucking the Constitution, then let's rewrite it for modern days.
Mm-hmm.
And
We should be
go
going
fuck
through and
yourselves.
adding more amendments.
You know the good thing about all
at this
this,
point.
you know, the only good thing I will say that ever came out
Especially
of the
expanding
fucking
the Supreme
Trump
Court.
fucking presidency is that we found all the loopholes that he found and his Russian cohorts found. There's all these little tiny things. Oh, well, it's not really written
we
in
found
law.
the holes in the dam.
It's
Yeah.
just it's a norm. It's a courtesy. You know, like when you meet the dead that come home from wars, you go there and you make a speech and you hold the hands of the family
ritualistic,
of
yeah.
our fucking soldiers who sacrificed their lives to protect our country.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a norm. He went to like 2 or 3 and then he was like, because the parents of these, I hear
So do I.
I do, I hear it. But the parents of these soldiers were like, fuck you, you don't give a shit. You throw our children's bodies at fucking war all day long.
Yeah.
You want us to go, he wanted to fucking nuke a hurricane, nuke Mexico, nuke this, nuke that. Motherfucker is a goddamn
Why don't we
lunatic.
just send the army in? Sir, that's San Francisco.
So, it's almost 6 o'clock.
It's almost 6 o'clock, and you are listening to HBL Radio Nation. You can like us, follow us, subscribe, and by all means, please share and donate if you can on all the socials.
Yeah, no, we would totally appreciate it. We are trying to get our friend Andrea Brower on the line.
So you get
I don't know if she's
nothing.
ready yet because she
You
hasn't
lose.
texted me.
Good day, sir.
So I'm sure Tony already sent her the link. So we'll just go on to the next subject. By the way, Jenna Ellis is still missing. We don't from last week. Jenna Ellis, previous attorney and the one who got COVID from Giuliani farting on her. Yeah. She's still MIA, and the lawyers in Georgia are still looking for her. Just to start that off.
And that's a shitty segue to a potentially shitty segue to the story of Giuliani that you have.
I you know, the Giuliani story is so
Think I'm gonna barf.
It's gross.
it's so triggering.
So
I have to
gross.
do a content warning. Content warning, people. If you are all of a sudden I lost audio. and
It's so
everything?
gross.
Did you
lost
lose
everything?
audio?
No, I can still hear you. I can hear you fine.
I lost total audio.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
She's lost audio. We're trying to get Diane back.
Hold on.
While she's gone.
Okay, I got it back.
We wanted to say how disgusting Rudy Giuliani was with
oh,
the
fuck. Content warning,
the Viagra
people.
and the
I was listening to the Daily Beans, Allison Gill. She's a major podcaster. And she's like, I'm sorry. I have to stop. I can't. This is bad. It was so triggering. And she had an incident that she's public about that happened to her in the past, and it's very ugly.
And his treatment was so disgusting and so vile.
Disgusting. And that's exactly how I feel about it.
So victimizing.
It is. I don't even know if I want to go over it because it's so gross. The thing that came out of it that was most important, and I think that's. We all know he's a fucking piece of shit.
Perhaps you'd like me to come in there and wash
just
your
like
dick for
Trump. Like, I don't even know if everybody else has covered the story. I don't know if I really want to go into it.
Not the details. Not the gory details.
I wrote them down, but I really don't.
Yeah.
And all I really want to say is that what came out of that I think is really going to fuck him in the ass with no lube. And I mean Trump and Giuliani, is that they were selling pardons for $2 million a pop. And when you have Jared Kushner saying at the end of Trump administration,
talk to Giuliani.
No,
about
at the end of Trump administration, he was saying, I'm too busy with pardons to deal with
I remember that. Yeah, he testified
anything
to that.
else. And why? Because they're trying to find as many people as they could to
Who the hell ever heard
sell
of
a pardon
preemptive fucking pardons too? Preemptive pardons.
And Glenn Kirshner, who is a fabulous attorney and who's worked in D.C. for years, 30 years, JAG, everything, the whole 9 yards. He said, this is actionable. These pardons can be contested in a court of law, and they will lose because of all the just blatant fucking evidence that we already have in this particular case. And then you have an article that Keith Olbermann covered just a couple days ago. He was like, there was an article in I think it was 2019 or I can't remember the year of it, but some dude who's in prison for giving documents to the Russians was asking Trump for a pardon, and he was told, well, the only way you can get a pardon is if you have $2 million. He's like, I've been in prison for fucking 5 years. I don't have any money. So he didn't get his fucking pardon. All these other motherfuckers who got pardons.
Flynn.
Stone. Flynn. Bannon. Bing, bing, bing. They all had the $2 million to fucking give.
And they already ran through them. They already
and
used the get out of jail free
card. One of the reasons why MTG didn't get her fucking pardon is because she didn't have the $2 million. And how about the Jan Sixers? I'll pardon all of them. Oh, really? Really? You're going to pardon all the Jan Sixers,
and
Trump?
Then charge them.
And then charge them money for
money, yeah.
You fucking slime ball. If this is just like what we're finding, imagine everything else. Everything else was a transaction just like that. You give me money, I will fuck our country. You give me money, I will fuck Roe v. Wade.
You give me money, I will let you fuck children, because that's what's going on with a lot of these fucking guys.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
They're disgusting motherfuckers. Really disgusting
Fucktard.
motherfuckers. This Giuliani story makes tears come to my eyes. It's so disgusting. I can't even cover it. Writing it down, I was like...
Forcing.
You should see my face as I'm writing it down. I'm like... I was cringing the whole fucking time.
Plus, with that,
Andrea
fat
Brower
Gollum,
said she just got home. Give me 10 minutes and then set up. So
Rudy Giuliani looks like Gollum traded the One Ring for a whole bunch of pizzas.
And look at that fucking... And everybody's like, it's the downfall of America's mayor.
It does.
No, it's not. This motherfucker was a piece of shit before.
was never
Everybody
America's
gave
mayor.
him credit for bringing down the Italian mob. The only reason why he brought down the Italian mob is so he could let the Russians fucking move in. And the Russians take over.
The Russians paid him more than the Italian mob did.
Fuck yeah, they did. And we're talking the 80s and the 90s. And Trump is there, and he's the fucking mayor. And guess what? The reason why the fire department on 9/11 didn't have fucking communications is because Giuliani moved the fucking communication center in the goddamn fucking Twin Towers after everybody in the whole fucking world told him not to do it. Told him not to do it. He did it anyway. And that's
It was
created
cheaper,
more chaos.
and it was the contractors that he
On
wanted
that
to
day.
use that
Yeah.
he got the kickback from, and they used cheap
And
materials
then
and all that. Yeah, the
somebody
whole thing.
said today,
Whole Sopranos type
somebody said he's not America's mayor. He's the only one who just went out there and got his face on camera.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
all he did.
Yeah.
He did not save us from 9/11.
thing. And by the way,
He just went out there more than any other politician.
right,
Bush,
showed up a couple days later. Trump said he was in Trump Tower, and he could see the towers fall. But everybody that knows
Sure.
where Trump Tower is and knows where the towers were knows that there is no physical way that he could have seen them fall.
And right after it, he's like, "Now Trump Tower's the tallest building in New York City."
It really isn't.
I know.
How about no?
Isn't there the Empire State Building? You dumb fuck motherfucker. I don't know. I don't even know how tall it is, and I don't really care. It's not how big your fucking building is. It's what you do with it.
The price is wrong, bitch.
He's got very tiny stairways,
Tiny golden escalators.
tiny little escalators that are made of gold,
Tiny little
So you don't-
racist.
so you don't recognize everything else around
Tiny
it.
racist escalators.
Melania is fuming that they've been removing her decorations, which I find hilarious because
In
I'm
the
pretty
White
certain
House?
that they removed her decorations like 2 years ago.
They had to fucking fumigate the goddamn
Yeah,
place.
probably, yeah,
It smelled
yeah.
like stale diapers.
Think I'm gonna
Yeah.
barf.
and Melania.
Think I'm gonna barf.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Is Barron old enough for us to go after him yet? You let me
Computer says
I'm-
nah.
I don't know. And computer says,
Computer says
I'm in-
nah.
all right, just
I could
before.
save it up my Hunter or my
Well, let's go into
my Barron
this.
ones.
I thought it was, what was it? What day was that? I can't remember.
Wait, that wasn't me.
Saturday morning, a squad of FBI special agents, assisted by local police, descended on Trump Tower 3 this morning at Sunny Isles, Florida. They carried out a search of a condo unit owned by a shell company controlled by two Russian businessmen. Don't even ask me to say their fucking names. They're too fucking complicated. And they call that area Little Moscow. And it's also a maternity ward for Russian babies, Russian anchor babies. That's the area during Trump administration. All these pregnant women would come over. They would stay in this place, and they would fucking have their babies in America. So now they're American, but they take them back to Russia. They fucking fuck with their brain. But because they're born in America, they're citizens. But their mothers are not. And this was happening. We know this was happening on a huge scale during the Trump administration.
Didn't Trump
Have you ever
stop-
heard about this or no?
No, didn't Trump stop the whole thing about if you're born here, you and your parents become citizens here? Was that the part that he stopped? Was the parents becoming the citizens?
Well,
if you're born
they don't
here.
want brown people coming here. They
Of
only
course
want
not.
Russians coming here.
Yes, we know
So Russians came to Florida. Russian pregnant women would come here just before they fucking bursting. And pregnant women really aren't supposed to fucking fly. It's not really good for you, maybe a month or two before you
I was late for flight.
Yeah.
I was wrestling bear.
Yeah. So they're anchor babies. And then they go back to fucking Russia because they're not citizens. And they could stay here longer if there was a complication. Oh, I have a medical complication. I can't leave the country yet. So they would overstay their visas and this is a whole fucking huge scheme. We know that what Trump and Russia and Putin were fucking doing this bullshit. So the FBI Miami field office spokesman said they were conducting a court-ordered law enforcement activity at the vicinity of the area. 5 search warrants were filed under the seal by the Southern District of Florida on Wednesday, and they raided the place on fucking Saturday. So, there's a lot of shit to say about Florida, but there are some fucking people who are kind of following the law down there. Like, a little bit.
Some of those FBI agents actually kind of take the law and their job a little seriously. I don't know if you've noticed. They're a little gung-ho about it.
Well,
they might be on the Republican side, but I think they go on the side of law and order above and all. Most of them.
Jim Jordan's FBI fucking whistleblowers are being paid by Kash Patel, and Kash Patel works for fucking Trump. So it's like...
And they're complaining about all the rest of FBI doing
Yeah,
terrible,
but let's
notorious
talk
things.
about,
And that's a bunch of BS.
Yeah, let's talk about how the government is fucking with...
the report about the whistleblowers and why they had their security clearances removed, which were all for valid reasons. That whole report about
allegiance to America
was requested. Well, one of them refused to go on a SWAT raid, and you don't get to do that as an agent.
To arrest a Jan
A
6er.
Jan 6er,
Yeah.
who they knew had guns, who they knew had a violent history.
Right.
But yeah, these two idiots. The report that said that they were suspended for valid reasons.
By the way,
that was ordered by Jim Jordan
and friend.
Yes. That was ordered by Jim Jordan. So talk about a massive stepping in the rake moment, right?
Yeah.
Slapping into his own face because he demanded the report. You tell me the reasons why. You tell me the reason. Here you go. And he got the reasons. Fucking hell, they got reasons. Oh, we're still going to put them up. So Jim Jordan has known for weeks that this is nothing but air.
Yeah.
And yet he still went forward, claiming he had the whistleblowers. These are the I'm putting them on the stand. And by the way, it's not putting you on the stand if you speak in front of
but
representatives.
You can still get in trouble for lying to them. So, lying to Congress, you can get in trouble.
You can get in trouble. Yes.
You still have to take an oath.
Justice get after
you
it,
do take an oath before you testify in front of Congress. So it does have a.
Yeah, but there's no contempt. I don't think.
It's not under legal oath.
Right.
It's under contempt of Congress. You do raise your hand and say, "I swear to tell the truth." That is true. Are we gonna do?
I'm atheist. What do I swear to?
Fucktard.
I mean, I can't put my hand on the Bible. I mean, what am I swearing to? Do you have a copy of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I swear that the sun will rise tomorrow.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
A science book I could swear on?
Wow.
I'm just texting her. Are you ready?
Fun stuff. So, while you're doing that, in other news, on the front lines, the hypersonic missiles that Putin was touting so that no one could shoot down because they were too quick. Well, he was almost right. 6 out of 6 were shot down in one battle over in Ukraine. So I'm sorry, he wasn't right at all. So his missiles just got completely shot down, taken out by the U.S. Patriot missile defense system.
know this for sure because I don't really follow. I follow more domestic. I've been seeing pictures of side-by-sides of neighborhoods where, this just recently happened. This is Ukraine neighborhood. Here's all the houses, and now there's nothing left, right?
Yeah, I think that's around Kharkiv.
So is that currently going on right now? Like,
Yes.
I really don't follow this because there's so much shit going on
There's
here.
active bombing, active fighting, active shelling.
Well, I know there's active fighting going on over there, but where are we at with the Ukraine and Russian war? I mean, are they kicking ass? The Ukrainians kicking ass, or
the Ukrainians? I think you can technically say the Ukrainians are kicking ass at this point because the Ukrainians have held their own against the whole thing. It's Rocky versus Drago, and they've basically, they've kept them against the ropes pretty good. But there's certain territories which were always sympathetic to the Russian anyway, where the Russians are still in control of. And there's this band of them going around. There's also the Crimea Peninsula, which they annexed in 2016, something like that?
2014. 2014, what they did is they annexed that area and then moved a bunch of Russians in.
Yes. Yeah.
So, there's a bunch of Russian-speaking people there. That's our territory. Negative. Because before 2014, no Russians fucking lived there.
Right.
So, it's, again, gaslighting. This motherfucker, he's so obvious. Putin is so fucking obvious.
That's because Putin doesn't care, because if you speak against Putin, he'll kill you.
Well, in Russia. But the whole world knows you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your forehead is like a penis.
That is also very true of Vladimir Putin, of course. Very, very much true.
Son of a bitch.
Are we going to listen to our good friend? Sure. I love him. This is you want to talk about books and
don't forget to
guns.
like and subscribe and donate if you can to all the socials that we're on. HBL
Brian,
Radio
you
Nation.
know,
Thank you
it's
so much.
normally we'd hit this in the beginning of the show, but it's too much of a downer. What's the mass shooting count?
From Metro Detroit, this is HBL Radio Nation. Just wanted to make certain it didn't go up. We are at 227 from Metro Detroit. So that's more than 2 a day.
It was
since the
210
one.
last week.
Yes. So 17.
17 in 7 days.
Yes.
And we haven't really heard about any of it on national news. Like, it hasn't.
There have been a few
Some
little things.
some
a 12-year-old has
shootings.
shot up a Sonic worker with an AR-15.
I did not hear about this fucking story. Will
That's
you
a fun one.
please tell me about it?
That's basically the whole thing. A 12-year-old got a hold of an AR-15
In what
and
state?
went into this is in Texas. Went in and shot up a Sonic, killed a Sonic worker there. There's just so much going on with it, and we have people in our House and Senate here in Michigan who are trying to get a list together to try to recall our current governor because the governor submitted a bunch of safe gun laws.
I love
bills.
Whitmer. Fucking
And
love Whitmer.
They're not going to get the numbers, or they're not going to get the signatures
Dude.
for it, but they're trying.
I have to tell you this.
It shows that she's really hitting them,
I've got to fucking
Hitting them
go.
where they're not happy.
Talking about Whitmer right now. All right.
Okay.
I thought we were going to play this.
Well, hold on.
And
Because this is too important. I have a friend who does not like Gretchen Whitmer and says she's doing nothing. Right? So, she voted to enshrine the right to abortion. She amended state civil rights law to ban discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity. They voted to repeal the 1931 law criminalizing abortion drugs to reflect Michigan voters' overwhelming support for abortion. Now it's in the state constitution. Her leadership reversed the right to work law that the Republicans passed in 2012 that unions and workers hated. becoming the first state to scrap the right to work law since 1960. Voted to establish a wage law. I mean, you know what I mean? On and on and
Right.
on. Look at this whole fucking page. Look at it.
Doing the good work.
It even continues to the next fucking page. I could go on for 10 minutes of all the fucking great things that Gretchen Whitmer has done for the state of Michigan.
She's a
You
great
know what I
governor,
hear
yeah.
now on all the podcasts I listen to? We should be doing what Michigan is doing.
That's right.
Do what Michigan is doing. That state was not so blue, not so red. We were kind of purple.
We were purple, but we definitely skewed red.
Well, because
For
of the
quite a time.
gerrymandering, horseshit, and voter
because of-
suppression.
And because of some of the counties here in Michigan, including the county that we're in,
Yeah.
Fucking
was a
Jill
very
Stein.
red county. Yeah. This county went blue, and I'm very, very happy about that.
I'm so happy
Yeah.
about it. So Michigan is showing the country what happens when they actually answer to the will of the people. Michigan is the silver lining to the country when it comes to governing. This is
Absolutely.
the kind of shit that people are saying about Michigan right now.
Listen to the
because
mitten, people.
Fucking Whitmer fucking rules. So, fuck everyone who says she's not doing shit. She ain't doing shit.
Was that a happy double?
I'm happy. Fuck you to the haters of Whitmer. They tried to fucking kidnap and fucking murder this woman.
Yeah.
And she stayed in office and ran again.
Wearing leather jackets often.
And just going double middle fingers in the air to all of you. That's kind of a Detroit woman thing.
Do you remember
We don't give a fuck.
Do you remember what she did in the background of her Zoom conference calls whenever she was giving interviews to the big news agencies about the kidnapping attempt and all that?
Oh.
On the back behind her, she had these big dice, like big children's dice, but but
Like
they
fuzzy
had
dice or no?
No, they were like building blocks, but they
Okay.
had like letters and stuff and numbers on them, and these only had numbers on them, and it was 864. What was Trump 45? So 8645.
All right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
she had that behind her for every interview, and somebody figured it out after a couple of days.
See, that's
But
the
yeah.
kind of fucking trolling I'm talking
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yep.
Keep pushing it. Keep fucking with them. Keep prodding at their little fucking, little weaknesses. This,
I was wondering where you're going with that one. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's like
Yeah.
when you humiliate Trump, when you humiliate him, it makes him look worse. He gets worse.
Destroy
He
his
says
ego.
Shit. Again, I said it last week. I don't want him to shut up. Let him keep talking. Every time he opens his fucking mouth, he incriminates himself more. It is so fucking beautiful. And all the prosecutors and all the fucking attorneys across the country are going, yeah, keep going. Don't shut up, motherfucker. Because you're just digging your hole deeper. Your hole is deeper than your fucking wife's fucking grave on your fucking golf course at Bedminster, you piece of shit.
Suck eggs.
Glad you went past the fourth word on that one.
What?
Deeper than your wife's hole.
There's no crying in baseball!
Although I don't think that's true. I think, it's Melania's much deeper. That's the only deep thing about Melania, actually.
Point
If you think about it.
0.
Can you give me a few
She knows how to
getting
ask for
ready
money for sex in 4
to
different languages, I hear.
Can you give me a few getting ready to storm here, praying electric doesn't go out?
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
It's almost like if you live in Florida, your power could go out at any time.
Wow, it's almost like they have an old power grid that didn't get upgraded.
Just like Texas. Oh,
Texas, who built the windmills and said, no, we don't need any ice coating on there. And then when they first iced over in the ice storm, they're like, well, look, these things don't even work. Those guys are nuts.
We're going to talk to Andrea Brower, who we hopefully can get in here in a few minutes, about what's going on in Florida.
Why won't they leave me alone?
And it has been such a shit show. Now, I just want to talk about, before she gets in here, I don't know, I've seen maybe 10, 15, 20 videos of, I guess, Mexican workers or Spanish whatever.
Latino workers.
Latino workers. On job sites down there. And they're like, it's empty. There's nobody here. He made this fucking law. He did this.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's leaving. This law is actually not supposed to go into effect until July. And they're already leaving the state.
Yeah.
So you have a massive migration of people out of red states going to blue states. Blue states are going to become more rich, and red states are going to become more poor. I was like, I want to say it now, but I want to save it for Andrea Brower.
Save it for Andrea.
I don't know.
Say it the one time and release it at that point.
I don't know.
Save it for Andrea.
It's so good. It's such a good line. It's such a good line. And it has to do with our whole theory that, Florida's the dick and Texas is the anus, brown star, and then everything in between
is the taint. Yep.
And because they're all awful
Isn't Jacksonville
states.
up there in that, top part? Or what's in that top part of Florida there that's kind of
the
flat?
Panhandle?
The Panhandle, yeah, is that it? What's up with it? Because that's really kind of like the ballless balls.
Tallahassee's
Tallahassee,
up there,
that's what it is. So Tallahassee's like the ballless balls, or the mini balls for the dick. You got mini balls, and that's Tallahassee.
I was thinking
You lose. Good day, sir.
That weird drop of the Louisiana boot. It's way over there.
That's a birthmark.
It's in the middle of the tank.
That's a birthmark.
It's a skin tag.
Yeah. That's a skin tag or a fissure. That could be an anal fissure, for all we know.
No, it has been a deluge
Insubordinate.
of colossal fuck-ups coming from the South. You've got Abbott and Cruz down there in Texas fucking everything up, and everybody's like...
Cruz isn't doing anything. He's just sitting back and taking vacations and laughing about everything when everything gets fucked up.
He's like...
Abbott's actively fucking shit up.
It's political theater.
It's the theater of the absurd for that.
Political theater.
Yeah, complete absurd.
He's down
theater,
at the border going, and guess what?
Yeah.
As soon as Title 42, we didn't even talk about Title 42 on our show, really. We haven't even really talked about it.
Or the fact that Lorraine Boebert read that chart backwards.
Yeah, Title 42. As soon as it was done.
Yeah.
You see
it dropped from 9,600 to about 6,000 something, I think, and then a
that's
4,000
why
or
we
something
had
the
to
next
end
day
it.
after that. But yeah, I mean, that's
dumbest shit ever, and they were bringing it up, and they were...
You saw my post about it. I was like, I'm waiting for
overblowing.
this day of infamy. Where is this day of infamy?
Yeah.
It hasn't happened.
And
did
now...
Did I miss the
crickets.
The memo?
Do you hear anything about the border anymore? Besides MTG yesterday in a fight with that guy.
No, Halloween was going to be a big rainbow fentanyl for all the kids, and that never
I forgot
happened.
about the trans people who were going to be handing out fentanyl candy for Halloween.
Those trans drag queens are going to be killing everybody with the fentanyls.
Are we going to go with some happiness, maybe? For some
all right,
funny?
all right. We have
Sure.
Brent Hume.
Brent
Yes.
Terhune.
Terhune. That's it. I like this. This is great.
So I just seen on Fox
it's loud.
News.
It's loud.
Hold on.
Wow.
Ban certain books, and I say good.
Still loud.
Still loud.
All right, hold on.
Fuck, that's loud. Just blew up my fucking ear holes.
So I just seen on Fox News
I have no right
that
ear
they're
right
out
now.
here trying to ban certain books, and I say good. Ban the books. Those things are dangerous. New ideas, new thoughts, alternative perspectives making me feel all uncomfortable. And God forbid somebody walks into a school with a book. They start reading out loud. Do you really want that ink on your hands? Think about how scared the children must feel when they're doing all kinds of active reader drills. Tell me that's not traumatizing. And I know what you bibliophiles are thinking. Oh, we don't need less books, we need more. The only way to stop a bad guy with a book is a good guy with a book. Well, good luck with that. Let's say somebody goes to read up a school and you think you're quick draw LeVar Burton over here, but oh no, you're fiddling with the zipper on your fanny pack and you can't get your book out. And next thing you know, the guy reads off 2 or 3 pages and you start to take in new world views and feel uncomfortable. Ban the books now. At least the autobiographical ones and the semi-autobiographical ones. It's too easy to just walk in any old book fair and walk out with the stack of them. We need background checks. What are you going to do with them books, huh? Think? I don't think so. Ban the books now. That's why I wrote a pamphlet. You can go on my website. I wrote a pamphlet. It's a couple 100 pages. It's got a binding to it. And it'll teach you everything you need to know about what to watch for when it comes to banned books. When it comes to...
When they're going to read up at school.
That ink's going to be on your hands.
Good guy with a book is gonna stop.
He's brilliant.
Guy with a book.
Brilliant.
Oh God, dude, it's like take the word gone and put in the word book.
Right. Shooting in words.
And you've got comic
reading,
gold
yeah.
and a very great political narrative that you can use against these radical right-wing nut fucking jobs who are trying to ban like Anne Frank and shit. Like, I mean, it's not like...
And then when we talk about banning
50
assault
Shades of
rifles,
Grey,
they say bans don't work.
Yeah. Bans don't work.
My
we're going to
bans
ban
work, but your
abortion.
bans
We're going to
don't
ban books. We're going to ban your bodily autonomy. We're going to ban boners. We're going to ban this and ban that and we're ban everything. But banning guns doesn't work.
Did you notice that MTG tried to... She said she was going to try to ban Pornhub, saying that it was disgusting and all that. And
the whole audience went silent?
She has never backpedaled so quick in her life. I mean, she didn't backpedal, she just dropped it. I've never seen her drop a subject, but she dropped that one pretty quick.
Oh, because the fucking whole
Because
audience
everybody's like,
went silent because they're like,
yeah.
Don't tell my wife
just
that
lost all your
Pornhub
support.
fucking exists, you dumb fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you going to do next, Marge? Are you going to tell everybody about the incognito mode?
Son of a bitch.
What the hell?
Well, while we're waiting for... Is she coming in, or do you have anything? Nothing.
And ladies, there's no such
so,
thing as a blank.
Ron
Browser history.
Filipkowski on Twitter said, at this point, it's quicker to count the people in Trump's orbit who aren't criminals, abusers, misfits, drug addicts, sickos, and weirdos. All the finest people.
Very true. the best sickos and weirdos and freakos. I really find that I only like politicians that Marge Taylor Greene has issued papers of impeachment against. Even though she thinks that she thinks that she can impeach her
colleagues.
Any of her colleagues. She thinks that she can impeach any of it. The postal officer who delivers her mail. She wants to impeach him if he bends their magazine. She
thinks that you can impeach anybody. Some of these people aren't
unimpeachable.
Yeah, like I don't know where
That's a word for a reason, Marge.
Impeachment word that goes along with the dog catcher.
But he made me feel something, so I'm going to issue articles of impeachment against him. It's all those supposed steroids that I keep saying that she's on. It's all roid rage. That's what it is.
John Deff agrees with you,
Did you see her Squatch baby bump, by the way? Her Squatch baby bump that was in her confrontation video today?
Everybody thinks she's fucking pregnant, dude. I don't know.
She's not. She just ate a really big burrito.
He's setting up Zoom.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not
Like
going
a
to take
snake
this
or
anymore.
All right, she's jumping in. So, we are waiting for our guest Andrea Brower to come in. Just one more little thing while we're waiting. The U.S. Virgin Islands issued a subpoena to Elon Musk in Jeffrey Epstein case, which I think
That's what I said earlier. Yeah, that's great.
You know what? The right keeps going on about Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
It's not the thing you think it's gonna be, dude. It's gonna bring down all your.
There was a room full of dudes that were part of this circle. He was the facilitator, but the rest of the dudes still hung out at the drug dealer's house and were getting their names.
And hey, if Bill Clinton or anybody else who's on our side, who I would say on the left or whatever,
I think Billy was there. Yeah.
If anybody's on our side and they are culpable in any of this fucking bullshit,
have them.
Fire them. Fucking put them in jail. Indict them. Fucking I don't care. If Hunter Biden's guilty. Oh, the only thing they found on Hunter Biden,
throw the book at him,
is a tax thing. It was a very small thing. He paid a fine, and it's over. Yeah. It wasn't a big thing. It was like,
it wasn't tax fraud.
No, it was a mistake in his taxes.
It was a whoopsie doodle.
And because they got fucking microscope up his ass as a private fucking citizen.
Don't be such a poo.
I just don't. Why don't they put the same microscope up Jared Kushner's ass?
We can ask that a million times over, and they never will.
I know.
Because for the whole reason that if you saw during the CNN town hall,
look over there while we crime. Look over there while we crime.
Yeah, don't look at what we're doing. Don't pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
All right,
it's absolutely ridiculous. Is Andrea coming in?
It's an adult human female.
It's not working.
Nothing there. She just has to answer the email, and I let her go in.
TOPLESS.
You know that by 2027, we are going to, if we keep going at the acceleration that we have right now of climate, we are going to hit a point where the oceans are actually going to rise. New York will be underwater or start to become like Venice, having canals underwater.
Yep.
Florida's actually fairly high in some areas, so Florida's not going to get cut too much from the map that I saw.
It's a swamp.
Yeah.
That fucking place. We would see.
I didn't say I want to go there, but
no. You know, I have friends now who are like, I want to retire and I want to move to Florida. I'm like, really? I just lived there for 10 years. Are you sure about that? Because the place is a fucking cesspool.
Yeah.
No offense to the people of fucking Florida.
Well, some
it's not. Well, if you vote Republican, yeah. If you vote for fucking Rick Scott and Matt Gaetz and fucking Ron DeSantis and all these fucking assholes, yeah, you are culpable.
Ron P. Santis.
But I'm going to say it now. Florida is going to shrivel up and fall off.
Well, it's definitely
It's going to be the unit of fucking the United States of America.
It'll be a little nubbins.
It'll be
a little acorn cap.
It'll
I
be
can see you're really upset.
Tiny Florida. This. I'm not that upset. I am upset because a fucking man like DeSantis gets fucking.
It'd be rude to have your shoes on somebody's couch like that. So I had my shoes on his couch.
Fuck your couch. So, a man like DeSantis gets in the POTUS. Look at what he's doing to fucking Florida. He's going to do that to the whole fucking country. It's going to be a shitstorm.
I don't think he has the votes at all. He's got nowhere near the votes. It's funny that he's been doing his book tour on the taxpayer's dollar, and he's been doing this without announcing a campaign. We all know that it's for a campaign. I also love the fact that his wife is so vapid and out there that she lives in some like fantasy land where she's a Disney princess and dresses as such.
And well, I would say not a Disney princess. I would say she wants to be
like Jackie O.
Jackie O.
Mm-hmm.
She wears 1950s outfits.
Yes.
with the gloves.
Yes.
And the
The
hat.
jerkin gloves, yeah.
And like the Chanel
the pillbox hat,
pink suit with blood stains on it.
Think I'm
like
gonna barf.
that's her.
Yeah.
And those little fucking, I feel terrible. I've been thinking about this lately. I feel terrible for like Don Jr.'s kids and Eric kids and Ivanka's children.
Well, it depends.
Baron.
I'm still willing to hate children.
Well, we don't have children. None of us here in this
That's
studio
why I'm
have
willing to
fucking
hate
kids.
children. Yeah.
We didn't have kids for a
I
fucking
understand.
reason.
I
right?
understand they're not all angels.
But I do feel sorry for these kids because, like that one picture of Don Jr. with his 3 kids, they look like hostages. They're like, please, someone save me.
Well, who wants to take a picture at that age anyway? But
I don't know.
But are they?
When I was
are
a
they
kid,
spoiled
I was
like he was?
Hey, and
Do they talk down to the help? Do they go
Can you
hunting for and kill
imagine
beautiful animals that
how
they don't need
those
to
kids
and
have
take a
been
picture
raised?
with it?
They are going to be 50 million times worse than Trump and Jr. This is going to be a 4th generation of fucking awful Trump.
You saw the Murdaugh story.
Unless they get out of it.
Look
you know
at how
what I
the
mean?
kids in the Murdaugh
like
story
Mary
acted.
Trump. Mary Trump was like, fuck my family. She's like, I've thought many times about changing my fucking name, but she didn't because, I don't know, because she was, maybe pride and integrity or whatever it is. But if my father was Donald Trump, my uncle was Donald Trump. You goddamn believe that I would fucking change my name. You know what I'm saying? Like,
unless you saw.
But I'm also
that you
a
were treated better.
Jareduzzi, and that's a hard name to forget. And I got a lot of criticism for, your dad's in the mafia just because I had an Italian last name, and he was in construction. So
How many people
like,
thought that I'm a fucking bomber?
Oh, right, because you're Irish and you're Irish and.
I've been called a terrorist twice in my professional work, my day job.
Oh, I've been I'm a mafia princess about 1,000 times in high school. It never stopped.
What we're telling all the listeners is we both have cousins.
Mind body's genius.
No, we don't.
We'd appreciate you not talking about this anymore.
Don't have a cousin.
Now, you go ahead. You start your car and you drive home later tonight. Don't you be worrying about what's under.
Rubs the lotion on its skin, or
What's
else
the deal?
gets the hose again.
I
It's
told her
right,
to check her
Princess. It
email.
gets
She
hose
said it's 6:40, and all right.
The U.S. coming close to defaulting. That'll be interesting.
She would know it was from HBL Radio Nation. She's got. Where?
She's saying she didn't get the. Maybe she has to load the software, because if you have to load that Zoom software, sometimes it takes a little bit.
I'm not doing it.
And we've already been on with her, so that shouldn't be it.
Oh, okay.
So anyway,
What am I supposed to do?
How
You won't
about-
answer my calls. You change your number. I mean, I'm not going to be ignored.
we have seen an uptick on the attacks of Democratic politicians. This week, Jerry Connolly's office, Jerry Connolly's office was attacked by a dude with a metal fucking baseball bat.
Yep.
And attacked 2 of his fucking staffers. One was her first fucking day on the job.
Yeah.
And she gets hit in the fucking head with a
Hillbilly
goddamn
went
baseball
full
bat.
on. My name is Mud. Yeah.
Was by some freak.
Hit 3 people with it, chasing them around.
You've got the Paul Pelosi attack. You've got the CNN bomber dude. and these are just to mention a few.
Yeah.
You've got the Connolly attack. And then this week, we find out that, like 2 months ago, some dude just walks into fucking Jake Sullivan's house. And Jake Sullivan is President Biden's national security advisor. He has 24/7 fucking Secret Service.
Yeah.
And they missed someone just
or
walking into this guy's house at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning.
Who knows?
3 o'clock in the morning, this guy walks in the fucking house. Sullivan goes, "Get the fuck out of my house." The person appeared to be drunk and not know where they were, and there was no real threat.
Was it Don Jr.?
No, but what I'm saying is there was
you kinda
no
described
real
Don
threat.
Jr.
Nobody was hurt in the incident.
Right.
But you have a top aide to the fucking president of the United States, the national security advisor to POTUS right now, and some random drunk dude just walks into his fucking house at 3 o'clock in the morning, and Secret Service doesn't fucking know it.
Somebody opened the door.
I'm sorry, Secret Service, there was no forced in. There was no forced...
Secret Service, like the rest of the country, it's a slice of life like the rest of the country. I'm sure, like, half of them or 60% of them are normal, but there's going to be like 40% Republican.
Since Trump...
Maybe 30.
Since Trump, my
maybe some QAnons
my
in there,
confidence in the Secret Service has fucking plummeted. Remember when...
But it's the same in the Army, it's the same in the
Biden
Air Force, it's the same in the Navy, it's the same
Biden got
in everything.
into office,
CIA,
and they didn't know whether they could trust the fucking Secret Service or not.
Right.
We had this incident with Kamala Harris getting in this fucking weirdo accident, and that whole weirdo-ness that happened earlier on. We've got these people who are protected 24/7 by Secret Service, and someone just go willy-nilly walking into their fucking house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, something is going on.
Bud, what's your problem?
Just like the traitors in the FBI who have no allegiance to America. There's got to be dudes in the Secret Service who have no allegiance to America.
Absolutely.
And they have allegiance to Trump.
All the alphabets. All the alphabet
We've
soup.
seen it over and over and over again, and it's
guys
time to fucking question.
It's not the majority of them by all means. It's a very small percentage
but I
of
would
them.
say,
But they exist. They have
I
to
would
exist.
say, and they get in these positions to fuck with our fucking country.
Of course.
Like that asshole who...
Take it down from the inside type effect, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Russian assets put in fucking government positions. Like that dude, the fucking...
Aaron,
dude that was from
Aardvark,
Rhode Island,
Alan.
and we had spilled national secrets on fucking social media, on Twitter, or no, it wasn't Twitter.
Even
it was,
close.
Twitch.
Bud.
Oh,
and his gaming show, or and his gaming thing, and he Discord or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking? We talked about it like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. National security leaked on fucking line by this fucking.
It was the young guy, Tiomo or something, and it's spelled Teixa. Yeah, Tiomo. Yeah, I think it's Tiomo is how you pronounce it, but it's Teixa or something like that.
How about you?
I totally know. That's what I'm talking about.
That's the guy that Marge Taylor Greene said, "This is a great kid.
Oh, he's so
He's a
awesome.
patriot. He's so awesome." And he's been told, he was told several times, stop looking at classified stuff. You don't have access to that. Stop looking at that. Stop looking at that. And then he
had been
released Pentagon secrets. That's the one that is.
What's the word? Disciplined for doing this 2 times before this.
Yeah,
incident.
that's what I said. He's been told time and time before, you're not allowed to look at that. You're not allowed to look. And then.
Can I get a beer, babe?
Andrew's on.
He ended up getting.
She's on.
Hello, Andrea.
Andrea Brower.
Welcome to HBL Radio Nation, Andrea.
Welcome to the show. She's been here before when Brian was not here. So, Brian, Andrea
Welcome
Andrea
to the
Brower.
show today, Andrea. How are you doing? Sometimes those are good ones.
Well, for people who don't know, Andrea is a moderator for House Spark Show.
Yes.
And so when he is traveling, she has to tell everybody he's not going to do a show tonight. So we can actually go long tonight. It's at 6:51 right now.
And where is Hal tonight?
Well, Hal...
Excellent. Nice. We love Nerd Halen. We're a big supporter of them. Big fan of them. Very nice. Any special guests going on that particular show? I know he's had some pretty spectacular special guests before. Fantastic. Look forward to that, yeah. Yeah, I got a real kick out of when Lita Ford got up and played with them not too long ago.
Paul says she can't. He can't.
Wait, hold on. Paul said... All right. Everybody's saying they can't hear you.
For some reason,
So,
it's not on your end, Andrea.
It's not on your end. It's got to... Paul said, who's a good friend, Paul can't hear her. So Tony's going to try to figure that out. We're going to set up the whole story because you live in Florida and you have a lot of stuff to say about the governor of the state of Florida. And I already spilled the beans here on HBL Radio Nation that, I think that Florida is about to shrivel up and fall off. All right, can you hear her now? Can everybody hear her now before she goes on?
No, nothing's coming from her. It's...
Paul, can you hear her now?
I'm on the board here and I'm bringing her in. Why is that not?
Do you have to shh? We
it's
can
funny
hear you
because
here
I can
in the
see
studio.
you on our board. You're coming through on our studio board. I can actually see it when Andrea talks. See?
Oh, I know what it is.
No, we love the puppies barking. We're good with.
Tony knows what it is.
Animals.
He's gonna fix it. Okay, hold on.
Tony, fix it, Tony.
I don't know if the show can, but
That's
well,
gonna be my
Paul
thing.
I just asked him and he said no, and so now can you hear her now, Paul?
Let's
Let
try it
us
again,
know.
Paul.
Let us know. We're doing a little sound check on the fly.
Let her talk real quick. Go ahead, Andrea.
Go ahead, Andrew.
We can hear you, but we're waiting to see if anyone else can. So go ahead with a little sound check. Tell us a little story, Andrea.
Go ahead. No, nothing. Fuck.
Okay, hold on. They can't hear you yet. So you're saying right now that you are in touch with a guy who's connected to Bob Seska show. Right. All right, hold on.
Hang on, Andrea. We're
lost having issues. She's still talking. She can't hear me, I don't think.
No, she's
Hang on, Andrew.
No. We can't hear her. Okay.
Tell her to talk.
Well, you know.
She is talking.
No, she's not.
Don't get into the issues. Just keep talking about small talk until we can get you in. I don't know. Tony, do you have to share her?
Yeah, I am.
Share audio.
Tell her to say something.
Say something, girlfriend.
Now I can hear her.
It's not coming
But
through.
can Paul hear?
Talk again, Andrea. Nothing.
Damn, this is frustrating as hell. This is why I wanted to hook you up with you earlier so we could get this.
Get a bit of a sound check in.
Yeah, do a sound check, do
Sometimes
a test.
there's a bit of the gremlins that show up.
Well, we're doing this shit on the fly. You know. When we... Yeah.
Absolutely, and you're watching this new technology on HBL Radio Nation. Make certain that you like and subscribe on all the socials and share with your friends. You'll be able to hear at least 2/3 of the people on the screen tonight.
All right, she can talk now.
All
Let's
right,
try
see if
this.
it's working. Not at all, Paul said
Well,
2 minutes ago.
Let her talk.
Go ahead.
well, now I can't hear.
What are your pets' names? Give us some names.
What are all my
Now I can
pets'
hear.
names? Oh my goodness, we got a lot here.
How many do you have?
The puppies' names are Peppa, Sandy, Pugsley, and Wednesday. And then I have a 22-year-old dog that I've had for about 15 years, and she is her name is Buffy, and she's lasted longer than I can't believe she's lasted this longer. She just turned 22.
22. Was she named for the film?
Yes, it was my grandfather. She was my grandfather's dog.
Buffy what?
Oh, gotcha. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Vampire Slayer. Yeah.
When I hear
And,
Buffy, it was my sister's nickname in college.
Well, what had happened was that earlier this week, I don't know if Diane saw it, but I rescued a kitten.
It's not live.
I got a call from Wendy's, somebody at
30
Wendy's
seconds delay.
locally here, and there was a kitten in a drain pipe.
Live,
and
see?
between the
Says
fire
right there,
department
live.
and
It's
the
30 seconds
sheriff's
delay.
department, we saved
Get me a
a barely 3-week-old kitten.
Paul said, there you go.
Okay.
So
Paul
you know,
said he can hear us now.
That's what we're hoping on. Yay.
Okay.
So we definitely want to hear more about the animals, but I think now that we actually have you going out to all of our listeners, let's go ahead and
All
talk
of our
about
3
some
listeners.
of the. Let's talk about some of the madness that's been going on. We certainly have not been want for stories in the past couple of weeks, and this week was certainly no exception. Now you're down there in Florida, and you have to deal with DeSatan. And there's a lot of stuff that he's been doing. I mean, just today he tried to pass another thing.
Today was ridiculous.
Where are the appeals going on some of these? Are some of these getting struck down? The book banning, the don't say gay. Are any of these getting struck down, or is there motions to do that?
A lot of the problem is, and what we're finding is a lot of the problem is that the couple of cases that have been in, just like with Trump when he was in office, a lot of the people that are in the courts today in Florida, DeSantis is the one that appointed them. So, you know, it's going to get swayed his way pretty much. The only difference is Disney made a deal, Walt Disney, when he was alive, made a deal back in 1952 with the state of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And it is an ironclad deal. It was made for the tourism of Florida. And so Florida, you know, Disney said, hey, this is a good deal for you. You won't have to pay state taxes.
They're the
This
highest
will keep
employer in
tourism
Florida, the
and
highest
it was an
taxpayer, all
ironclad
that.
deal.
Yeah. Yep.
And what DeSantis doesn't realize, or he's just too dumb to figure it out, is that he cannot break this deal. if he breaks this deal, tourism will go. Disney's already pulled out today of a 1 point something billion deal or more to build an addition for LGBTQ, and they scrapped it today. Do you know how much more money that would have gone into the state of Florida?
That's right. They want to show that they can hurt. They want to show that, hey, we really do have this power down here. We really are your biggest employer. We really are your biggest taxpayer, and we really should be a big part of the infrastructure in this part of this state of Florida.
Orlando would not be Orlando without Disney.
Not at all. Yeah.
You would not have a fucking major city there without Disney.
The thing of it is, and how this is where Hal and I disagree on this subject. Hal doesn't think that Disney's going to leave. Da 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 da. Problem is, if DeSantis becomes president, let's just say, for argument's sake, he ends up being the president.
Jesus.
Okay?
Oh, I hope not. Well, I don't think he has the votes. Let's just hope.
Let's just say, hypothetically, okay.
Big damn if it happens. that would give him more control over getting rid of Disney.
Oh.
And if Disney goes, guess what else is going to go? Universal's going to go.
Yep.
Busch Gardens is going to go.
Oh,
and there isn't going to be any tourism.
And all the employees.
What's
all
the
the employees
wiki?
are gonna go.
Not WikiLeaks. I keep saying WikiLeaks. What's a WikiWatchy? Yeah, WikiWatchy. I grew up going to Florida. I've been to all of those places. So as a child,
right?
It's a major money maker for the state of Florida. People from all over the country flock there, just like they do to California.
This isn't Busch Gardens we're talking about.
No.
This is a big money maker.
And you have, 150,000 people employed at this one company.
I think it's more than that.
And what people don't realize, okay, people from all over the world come just to Orlando, Florida. All over the world.
Yeah.
And they bring their money into the state of Florida.
All the Irish come over because we want to see the wee castle that you call the big one.
Living there for 10 years, it would be like, there would be like a season of Europeans just before spring break happened. It was like their spring break or something, and there would be an influx of people from around the world. And because I was in a rock band, they'd be like, they'd come up to me with their accents, and I'd be like, oh, where are you from? It'd be like Scotland and Australia and everywhere, just Germany and France, and they would come over, and it was an amazing influx of international people coming to the state of Florida. And they're like, yeah, we brought our kids to Disney, and now we're going to hang out on the beach for a week, and then we got to go back.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, and Disney is not cheap. We all,
cheaper than the south of France.
Well, when we were kids, it might have been cheaper, but now.
When we were, I don't know if you remember this. I know I do. They had little tickets. I could probably pull one up for you on the computer. They were little tickets like this, and you pull them off, just like you would if you go to the state fair, state something, you pull them off, and that was your ticket.
Yep.
Okay? Now they don't do that. Now everything's done by a credit card.
Yeah, credit card related to your bracelet usually. You get a bracelet, and you just...
Yeah, and you wave it, and you get... You can buy your snacks, and you can
Everything
just, my God.
Boy, is that a great design for them, because who's stopping the kid's arm from waving across everything that they want?
Exactly. And not only that, people have got to remember that not only does Disney do stuff, and bring people in, they also do stuff for the community of Sanford and Orlando.
Of course.
They've got the Disney, there's a little Disney area over there that's nothing but shops and restaurants. That's still owned by Disney, and they bring they have people that come in. What happens to those shops? Most of them are mom and pop shops, and they just pay Disney to use the building.
And I'm sure there's donations that they make to the local children's hospitals, the local politicians.
Right. Orlando Numers and
That's right.
And they have different charities. They have Night of Joy for the Christian groups. A lot of the Christian radio stations go there. Yep. So it's, it's not just, which this is what DeSantis doesn't get. It's not just the LGBTQ community. It's the Christian community. Yep. It's their community.
He's alienating himself from his own base. Alienating himself from his own base is what he's doing.
Andrea, I have a question. What is this law that he signed that's not going to be coming into effect until July, but it's literally emptying all the construction sites and all the restaurants are having trouble getting chefs and cooks because he's alienating all the Latino population out of work there, and they're leaving now before this law comes into effect.
Right.
Like, can you explain?
They're being proactive instead of reactive.
Well, there's two different laws that are.
I just see video after video, and I'm just wondering what the hell's going on with this.
Are we getting punked?
Okay. There's two different laws that are in effect right now, or will be in effect. There's the gun law, and then there's that law that you're talking about. That law that you're talking about mainly has to do with the migrants that come over here and work. I live in an area in Florida. I live in Central Florida, and Central Florida is the minefield of the United States. We have the phosphate mines here. We have Purina Dog Food Company here. We have Heinz here. We have Del Monte here.
Oranges.
With the strawberries, all of the strawberries across the United States. There's California and there's Florida. Mm-hmm. Plus, we have Tropicana and Bradenton.
Yep.
So those are migrants work there. And again, DeSantis is cutting his nose to spite his face because these migrants help to provide the services and foods that we eat every day.
But don't you think Don Jr. and Eric and Barron potentially could get out there and work the fields just as effectively?
Oh, yeah. I thought all these white men thought that their jobs are being taken
white
by
rich men.
You want to go out there in 100-degree heat in the sun and pick strawberries?
You know what I just thought of? They can tan their testicles at the same time.
With a hat on going out there doing that? Give me a break.
Say that again. It was kind of blurry. What?
I said, can you picture Don Jr. out there in shorts and a hat going out there picking in the field?
I don't want to picture Don Jr. in shorts.
No.
Exactly. Now, the other law that is in effect July 1st is the gun law. The gun law that he signed, and he did it overnight when nobody knew about it. He signed this bill. And what this bill is in the state of Florida, you can get a gun. You do not have to have a 7-day background check. You do not have to have a 3-day background check. You do not have to have a background check at all.
That's horrible.
You can be the age of 18 and get a freaking gun. And on top of that, you do not have to have safety gun training. It is an open carry. Okay?
Total shit show.
Is letting 7-year-olds drive 3,000-pound cars next? Is that our next freedom?
Well,
that's been infringed on?
His best friend. I mean, come on.
Oh, geez, yeah. Well, when your best friend comes from South Africa and his daddy has all those wonderful
emerald mines and during apartheid,
they're really good with children. Really good with them. They know where to whip them
child
just
labor.
right.
Oh yeah.
They're really good with kids.
So it's. I am a native Floridian. I was born and raised here.
No, that's true.
And
you know where to whip them.
It sucks that Florida is being treated this way, and there are. I was talking to Diane about this earlier. The amount of people coming here because Trump's here and because of DeSantis, it's insane. I have never seen traffic as bad as it is. And this isn't just a case of she's like, oh, well, the people from up north come down and then they leave after Easter. We're done with Easter, and these roads haven't let up.
Mm.
Do you think it's like a red wave going to Florida, just like there's a blue wave coming out of Florida?
It could be. It could be. And, and the sad thing that stinks about it is that most people cannot get out of the state of Florida. They can't afford it.
But the ones who can are like, I'm getting the fuck out.
We're out here.
Yeah.
We're out here. We're done.
I'm done living next to Kirk Cameron.
Sucks.
It's such a shame because
Kitty alert.
I grew up going to Florida. I grew being a snowbird, right? Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Snow, every spring break, every Christmas vacation, we were down there as a family, as a young kid. And I've lived in Michigan my whole life, but half of it was kind of spent in Florida. And then Tony and I lived there for 10 years. And before that, I lived there for another few years. So I'm kind of half Florida, half Michigan person.
The thing that
I go...
And what gets me on that is how bad the hurricanes get down here, Diane.
Yeah, the snowbirds, how bad it really is. It is a fucking shit show during spring break. And yeah.
And
it can get...
Living in Florida, you better learn to get used to it.
Yeah.
Hal and I joke about the fact that, I'm so used to the earthquakes. Dude, come live in Florida. You never get used to a hurricane.
No.
I've been there 4 times in my life. It would have only been 3, but I had to come back for the court date after the 3rd one, a year and a half later.
We're going to need explanation on that later.
That is a long story, but that is my only experience with Florida.
You've only been in Florida 3-4 times?
I have not been to our place in Florida. We have a place in Florida. I haven't been to it.
Where is it?
My dad has a place in Sarasota, just south of Sarasota in Venice.
Ah, my hometown.
Oh, that's great. Do you know where Bird Bay is?
Yep.
Well, that's we got a place in Bird Bay over there. My dad actually just came home from.
I was 5 years old and I lived there.
Nice.
You knew it well.
Nice.
So a lot of what people don't realize is a lot of older people live in Florida, and the reason they live here is one, the weather, because it keeps them warm, arthritis, that kind of
Good
thing.
for the joints, yeah.
Okay.
Not the kind you roll.
The other thing is a lot of older people, they have generations of families that live here. They don't want to move anywhere else. That's all where they've always lived. Okay. So they're stuck. These people are stuck.
And there's people who cannot afford to get out. Like literally just can't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They don't want to leave their home.
It's tough to afford to move, somewhere else in the same city, much less to another city, much less to another state.
I mean, let's just say, let's take Florida out of the equation right now and let's do a hypothetical.
Okay.
I'm a woman. I'm single. I'm pregnant and I live in Texas.
Were you aware of all this, Tony?
And I want to get the fuck out. So what the fuck do I do? How the fuck do you get out?
You pay the coyote to smuggle you across the border to another state.
How the fuck do you get out when you got no money and you don't want to live in a state? I really feel like there's going to be a mass
Exodus.
migrant mutation. The people who live in blue states who are MAGAs are going to move to red states and vice versa. The blue dots, if they have the capability, if they can, they are going to get the fuck out.
I honestly don't think that's going to happen. DeSantis isn't going to get the votes. He's not. Just can't.
I said that earlier. I don't think DeSantis has the votes.
He's not going to get it.
I agree with you.
No, I don't think he can either.
He did the debates with Chris.
Yeah.
He's going over in areas now. He's not even I mean, he just said the other day that he will announce that he's going to be governor. He's already gone. He'd go over to Italy and we had a massive flood in South Florida? People remember that crap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
People remember that stuff.
And
his wife was busy dressing as a Disney princess somewhere over in Taiwan, I think, at that point.
Right.
I think it's clear. It's become crystal clear that people like DeSantis and Rick Scott and Marco Rubio and Matt Gaetz, and those are just a few that I can name off the top of my head.
And name how many of them have committed crime.
They don't give two shits about the people. It's all about power and filling their pockets full of money.
Of course,
they don't give a fucking shit.
Every bad piece of press lets them go out and say, "Hey, look, the press is really coming after me. These people are really coming after me. I need your financial help because I'm a brilliant billionaire, but I need your money to really fight this." And people will send a couple of bucks in. And if they do good, they say, "Look how good we're doing, but we need your help to continue the fight." So everything's a grift.
What's going to happen is...
Go ahead.
When the shit goes down with Trump, because it's coming, I think people are going to see that they're going to see that, justice does happen.
Yep.
And it's going to happen swiftly. And I think at that point, DeSantis is going to weasel his way out.
We have a friendly bet between us as to what we feel that is going to take Trump and put him in actually behind bars. Not just get him a fine, but actually behind bars.
I'd be interested to know your opinion on this, Andrea. Let us know, Andrea. What do you think?
The square in the fantasy Trump going to prison board.
Brian, your position is?
I've taken the Georgia fake electors spiel. I think that is what is going to actually send him to jail. Everything else, I think he's going to get a fine out. He's going to get a slap on the wrist, but that's going to actually put him in jail. Di, your pick was?
I think the fucking documents at Mar-a-Lago is going to fuck him in the ass, and he will go to prison for that. You think the opposite, but I also say in my bet, it depends on who goes first. Because if the Georgia documents case comes out first, or the Georgia electors case comes out first, he's gonna get prosecuted for that. I have no doubt. But if the Jan 6 fucking, the Mar-a-Lago.
But Di, will you accept the decision if it comes out? Will you accept the decision?
I will accept it, and I will buy you a 12-pack of beer when I lose.
We bet bigger out here.
You guys have to remember, okay? We've already got one out of the way. Actually, we had three. We got Stormy Daniels.
Yep.
We got Eugene Carroll.
Yep. The first E.G. Carroll.
Yeah. Manhattan one. Now we got Georgia. What is this doing? It's leading up to what?
Yeah, the big fish, and that's what I say.
Yes.
I think the big one is what's going to get him. Only because.
Wait, Jan 6 or Georgia?
No, not Georgia. Georgia's going to lead up to it.
Okay.
That's gonna coincide. I think this is how I think they did this, and Glenn Kirshner's pretty much I'm with him on this. These little things are adding up to make a case. Look, they've got the Stormy Daniels, they've got the Eugene Carroll. Okay, that's the sex part. Then you've got the Manhattan deal, which goes along with the sex part too.
The fraud deal.
Then you got the Georgia deal with the 12,000 or 1,200 or whatever.
Fake electors.
Fake electors.
And have him on tape saying that.
Yeah.
Okay, which goes into the January 6th, right? Because it has to do with the election, right?
Yep.
Okay. The thing that's going to get him is the documents. Why? Because if he sold those documents to a foreign adversary, which nobody's talking about, okay? That's what's going to get him. This is all leading up to it.
It's possible.
I totally agree.
It's possible.
You know what? At the CNN town hall, he literally it said, "I can do whatever I want. I can take them out and they're declassified, and I can show them to whoever I want." It was a shit show of confessions. That fucking town hall.
It was.
Brian
terrible.
sees where I'm going with this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's leading up to the big kahuna, and the big kahuna is those documents.
It's the breadcrumbs going up to like the top of almost a RICO case when you look at all of it as holistic. Which I agree with you on that, but I really think that we're going to get some type of jail time passed down before we get to that level. I think that we're going to see him come into court in the orange jumpsuit, which is going to go good with his complexion.
Oh, God. Wait a minute.
So good with his complexion. You just got too happy? You just got too happy?
Hot flash. Happy
hot flash. Happy hot flash.
Trump
but remember.
in an orange jumpsuit might just fucking make my year. Go ahead.
No pun intended. Federal Trump state. Think about
Federal Trump what?
Federal Trump's, no pun intended, Trump's state. So he can be charged statewide.
Yeah.
He can even go to jail statewide. But if that federal indictment comes down, baby, all bets are off on the state. They have to wait.
That's true.
The only thing we actually have to really worry about is next election. So let's say he goes down for all this shit, right? Let's just hypothetically say he's fucked.
If they don't
he's
hurry
in
up,
jail,
if he gets elected,
he's fucked.
then he has the power
He's
of the
got
DOJ
federal
behind him
charges, and he's got state charges in New York, state charges in D.C.
It's the
I
only
guess
thing that's
like
gonna
there's
save
no
him
state charges
if
in
he gets
D.C.
elected.
Hold on, let me
Yeah.
finish my fucking thought.
I'm going.
He's got state charges in New York, state charges in Georgia,
Yep.
and I guess it's going to have to be federal charges in D.C. because D.C. is not a state. So, wait a minute. We have to make sure that we keep New York Democratic, Georgia Democratic, and
that doesn't even
no,
have
but
positions.
No, because
there.
after I'm talking about 5, 8, 10 years, 20, 15 years from now, Republican get in there and fucking
pardon him or
pardon
turn it around?
him for state and federal crimes.
Whatever
it
he
depends
gets,
on who is in. No, we
The
cannot let this shit happen.
the next Republican president is going to pardon him regardless.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I don't think that's true.
The next president, really?
I don't think that's true.
What if it's Liz
because-
Cheney? Liz Cheney would
DeSantis.
never pardon him.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. The reason why, okay, is hang on a second. There we go.
Sure.
I don't think that's true because I think that if he goes to jail, everybody that's behind him is going to go, we're done. We're done. We're done with this asshole. We're done.
Except for the one or two that
Why
flipped
haven't they done that before this, though?
Oh.
This motherfucker is obviously going to jail. Like,
Until he does, he still
I
has
don't
power.
understand the people who say he can't go to jail.
Now are going to turn their backs on him.
It's because, they can't look like they've been a turncoat to him, or he will put all his resources against them.
I totally understand where you're coming from, but I also don't like the people who are on the left who are going, he'll never go to jail. He's never going to face any consequences. Bullshit.
He's going to face consequences.
Facing
Yeah.
fucking consequences
He's
right
going to go to jail,
fucking now.
but then he's going to face consequences. But I think he's going to get pardoned at some point eventually.
Some asshole will try.
Fucking Nixon got pardoned.
Do I think he'll do time? No, but he'll be under house arrest. And what's the worst thing you can do to Donald Trump?
Well,
he's
the worst thing
already
you can
in
do
a
is
cage.
take away his phone with all those tiny little buttons that those tiny little thumbs go so fast on.
take away his travel and take away his chances to make money.
You know
You
what?
guys,
It would be great
he's
if he
already-
got
in
house
my
arrest
opinion-
and wouldn't be allowed to actually play golf on his
In
course.
my opinion,
Exactly.
he's
See? That's what I'm saying.
Make it hurt.
That's the worst thing you could do to him.
Make it hurt.
in my
Make
opinion,
it-
I really think he's putting himself in his own cage. He has dug himself this big giant fucking hole. There's
musty,
no fucking way
shitty golf
you
motel
can
smelling.
get out of this with a clean slate. You can't get
Oh
out
no,
of
there's
all
no clean
this,
slate coming out.
this
No.
fucking colossal pile of criminality and come out.
And remember that a pardon means that you have to say yes. You have to admit, yes, I'm guilty of doing that.
Admit to what you did. He ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he kind of does when he talks.
Oh.
You gotta read
Any
between
open
the
forum.
lines, and that's what I say in the chat all the time. In the thing, I'm like, read between what he's saying. Every other word is the truth. If you put it all together, you've got a confession.
You know, Andrea, I love what you do when you work with Hal. I love that you moderate and you keep us away from the fucking trolls and you really cut down on all that bullshit.
Thank you for all
but
that.
you're
Andrew.
also you have a great narrative, and I feel like you are like us, and that we are behind the scenes. We're not famous people. We're not Hal Sparks. Hal Sparks is a famous comedian. He's a famous actor. You know, we don't have the platform he has.
Yes.
You know, I wish it could get a little bit bigger. I'd be happy. But
I mean, I've got the looks, but you know, I
Yeah,
I don't
right.
have the popularity. that he
you
has.
got the look.
It will take time.
No,
It will
but
take time.
what I'm trying to, my point is that, you know, I think we're regular people. We're not superstars and comedians and actors, and we are just, you're a woman who lives in Florida, and we are two people who live in fucking Michigan, and we're like, fuck, this is fucking shit. And we are a regular voice. We're not famous. We're not.
Yeah, but you know
we're
what?
not athletes. We're not actors. We're not journalists. We're just regular fucking kind of people.
I did write a book.
Who are speaking our fucking mind about this bullshit.
But you know what you're forgetting? Every voice matters. Doesn't matter
Yes.
how big or small.
That's the whole point of the Democratic Party, is that we want to hear everyone else's voice. Whereas the
Right.
Republican Party, they only want to hear their own voice.
Yes.
Democrats
Oh,
want to see
like
everybody else
Benny
be their
Loco
best
said.
person.
Benny, I love Benny.
I love
She-
Benny Loco too.
And her thing is they're not. We don't do sit-ins like when Jane Fonda was out there in the 70s and do a sit-in. We don't do that anymore. And Benny, in a way, Benny's right. We should be out there doing these sit-ins and not taking shit. But we've lost that. We don't speak. There are some people that still speak up like that, but we don't have enough.
Hold on.
Well,
I have a
we've got
point. Hold
we've got
on.
the David
Excuse me.
Hoggs of the nation now. That
Excuse
hopefully
me.
we
I have
can
a
take
point on this subject.
Sure.
We are also all in our fucking 50s.
Yes.
And when there were sit-ins going on in the 60s and 70s,
We're
these
not the
people
kids
were
to do
in their
it.
fucking 20s.
Yeah.
And we see kids, Gen Z, in their fucking 20s going out to these fucking places and protesting the motherfuck out of these fucking places.
I have
And
a tough
am
time sitting down at
all
a restaurant at my age.
Here
I mean,
for it. Yeah. We
And
are,
that's-
look,
And you know why?
we
You know why?
we used to be the people who protested wars. We protested the Bush wars. I did that in fucking college. I remember going. I have posters I made from protesting the war, going to Iraq and
We
Afghanistan.
lost our way to that.
What I'm saying is, like, protesting is for young people.
protesting's for everybody.
It
It's
is
like voodoo.
But the majority of people who go out there and have the energy to do it are young people. When we are in our 50s and our 60s, I've got to take care of my mother. We got some people have kids. They got a myriad of other things that they are dealing with. They are, we are plugged in every day. We are plugged into this shit.
now.
When you are distracted and you have to worry about, oh, my kid is having this problem or something, you know what I mean? When you are distracted about how do you put food on the table and how you fucking pay your fucking bills, those are the fucking things that real people outside who don't pay attention to politics, right? Those are the things that they're worrying about. How to, make it through the day, make it through the week, make it through the month, pay their fucking bills.
Right.
They don't have time for this day-to-day bullshit that we pay attention to.
Right. But hopefully they'll like and donate and share on all the social medias for HBL
We pay attention to
Radio
it
Nation.
so they don't have to. So we can regurgitate it to people who are
we need that, but we also need to be able to have conversation. We can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I get what Benny's saying, but I also
that's what I
we also
mean.
need to
That's
have
what I wanted to
conversation.
stress is we need to reach out to people who don't pay attention anymore, to our friends who are like, I hate politics, and both sides do it. I hear that more than anything else. Both sides do it. No.
Trump made it that way too, so you got to remember that too.
Yeah.
Trump enabled the whole Jerry Springer Nation and the whole pro wrestling type approach to government at this point, which is, it's really ridiculous. It's not about what can my politician that I'm going to vote for do for me. What can he do against my enemies that I've perceived?
Yes.
The one thing that made, rest in peace, Jerry Springer a very strong political person was the fact that he had that attitude.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing that I liked about him in politics, because he had that attitude. I'm not going to take any shit.
But he also, on the other end of the spectrum, brought reality TV to a fucking ridiculous point. And his show where people were throwing chairs at each other and getting in fights about who the fucking the baby's daddy was, he kind of sparked that reality TV that got so they got a lot of ratings because of the ridiculousness of it all. But we also did not have social media back then. You could not replay it unless it was replayed on TV. I mean, we have to realize that social media has done it's good and it's bad. Just like AI, good and bad. Just like, I don't know, maybe guns, good and bad. If you're a good guy with a gun and you really want to fucking protect people and you're out there to protect and serve and you're a really good police officer and you abide by your oath and things like that, then you're a good person with a gun. If you're a psychopath out there with your finger on the fucking trigger, ready to just go pop off about fucking any subject at all, I mean, it's just madness. And I just feel like,
and people are afraid to get out there because of getting shot, and look at the kids that were turning around in a driveway and they got shot. That makes people scared too about getting out there to go out there and knock on doors and stuff like that.
It's I look at the contrast.
You can hide yourself behind a phone and make calls. I make calls all the time for the DNC.
Right.
Okay, that's one way of doing it. But people are scared to go out there and knock on doors for fear of getting shot. And now it's only going to get 10 times worse in Florida after July 1st. So
what's after July 1st? What happens?
The gun law.
We got the gun law.
Oh, that gun law. Okay. Stand your ground kind of thing?
No, the gun law is that
anybody
you don't have to have a permit. You can go in when you're 18 and get a gun, and you don't have any background checks, and you do not have to go take gun safety lessons.
Hey, Andrea, move your camera down a little bit.
I don't know if I can. I'm borrowing. I know, I'm short. I can't help. I'm 5 foot nothing. Yeah, I'll have to do it. Let me get
it's
another.
funny. We're like, we're chat friends, and we like we're like virtual friends. We've never even actually met, even though I feel so close to you.
What are you on
a? We think so much alike, and we agree.
What are you on a laptop?
Huh?
You on a lap?
I'm on a computer.
So you got an external camera, right?
Yeah, well, it pops up.
So you can't adjust it just by your hand or anything? Like move it?
I'm borrowing somebody's computer, so.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. She just turned his shit off now.
There you go. A little better.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I so enjoy talking to you because
Angle
really,
of attack. Angle of attack.
You have this, like the same. I mean, I don't. It's not like I want to hear everything that is the same as my ideology, but I like hearing it from another person that I barely fucking know. Right? Through chat.
Hi, Tony.
And just go, wow. There are more of us than there are of them. We do.
They are a
think
very
alike.
loud minority.
They are a loud
annoying
ass
minority.
motherfucking minority who won't shut the fuck up. And the more they talk, the more they incriminate themselves.
Do you have a version of that where you curse?
Yeah.
The main thing everybody needs to remember, okay, is one, choose less evil.
Yes.
Okay.
I like Hal Sparks.
Two, be kind
choose
to
the
your
lesser
neighbors. Always look
of
out
you.
for them. That's CSL. And three, karma.
Yeah.
Karma finds a way every time. It may not be quick, it may not be fast, but it comes. And she's a bitch.
And everybody's got to vote.
Well, I feel
And
like
you gotta go out there and vote.
we're really starting to see accountability. We haven't seen it in like, what, 2.5 years after the insurrection now? So
we haven't seen it since Trump was in office. From the
well,
beginning.
you couldn't do jack shit while he was in office, so it had to come after.
Yeah. But we have this short window, and they aren't exactly moving as quick as I would like.
No, but I'd rather them cross them T's and dot them I's and get it done right the first time.
Be
People
meticulous.
don't forget,
I always say cross the I's and dot the
T's.
T's.
Never had this happen before, ever.
Yeah.
They're being meticulous.
So this isn't something our forefathers had planned.
But there are some of these
Our
things
forefathers
that they know,
never thought that the fucking House and the Senate and the presidency and the fucking judicial system, so I'm going like this, literally would be all corrupt by motherfucking money and Harlan Hitler Crow and fucking
And the thing of it
Cash
is,
Patel.
people don't realize, and a lot of people, and this is because schools have gone so far away, people don't realize that we have a
three-branch system.
Three branches
of government.
Yep.
You know,
It's
and
supposed to
that
be
how
checks and
that
balances,
government
but
works, they're not supposed to work together. They are, but they're not. They're supposed to be independent of each other, but they're supposed to work in conjunction with the law. And people forget that, or they're not being taught that.
I think during 9/11, no offense, but during 9/11, those lines started to blur because they're like, we need to work together. Intelligence needs to tell what they see, where normally they were just like their own thing and they stay here and they stay in their fucking lanes, right? All those lines got blurred. And that gave the right to be absolutely fucking more racist and bigoted against every fucking buddy.
they took the racism out of the dark and out of the closet, and they brought it to the forefront. And that's what I had always said before, that I want to hear the racist, but then when I did hear the racist, I realized, holy shit, there are a lot more of them than I expected.
It was there, but it was like...
It was always in the background.
Kind
it
of
was
obscured in background. I want to put these motherfucking fascists back under the rocks they fucking came from.
I want them to go back to that shitty recliner where they're sitting there on their 19th
and they're screaming
Pabst Blue Ribbon
and shooting,
and they're yelling,
shooting holes in their ceiling.
They're yelling at the TV because their homoerotic wrestler didn't beat the other homoerotic wrestler, but they're against gays because that's against the Bible.
I'll be right back. Keep talking.
And them Bible folks, you got to pray.
Have to be patient. It's coming. It's just going to take time for it to get here.
Yes.
And
sorry, I had Thai food.
Be patient. It's going to happen. Karma's going to get him.
Oh.
It's going to get him back.
It's gonna.
And the worst thing you could do to Donald Trump is keep him inside, away from golf course, away from his money, and he's going to die miserable. Now, my guess, there's more stuff coming out on Epstein. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That Epstein list is getting longer.
Yes.
And we know that Trump's on there. I'm just hoping that Trump doesn't die of, I mean, with his diet, he might just die of clogged arteries before anything else gets him. And I think that would rob me.
I have my theories.
That would rob me.
I'm not going to say that, but I have my theories on how that's going to be an Epstein deal on that deal.
Oh, you think so? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, well, that's a good possibility. I mean, once he gets in there with all the dirt that he has on other people, there's a lot of people that want him to go away.
What is the worst thing you could do to Trump? Trump has never gotten in
back him in a corner.
His life for any damn thing.
He's never been backed in a corner. So yeah, you back him in a corner, and you either give up other people or we're getting you, and he's going to give up other people. Yeah, he's going to squeal like the pig that he is.
So once that big thing comes down, which is going to be those documents, and I guarantee you, Trump sold them. You know he did. Nobody wants to say it, but you know he did.
My good friend Kim, I have some very special framed documents for you. They show us what all the nuclear codes are.
Exactly.
And because I took the nuclear codes are no longer a classified topic.
They change them
Therefore,
every time.
anybody you can call up the U.S. government right now and get the nuclear codes.
I dreamed that they aren't.
I declassified them with my mind.
Yes, the men who stare at documents.
Nice, guys, but I've got to get going. You are not the only podcast I have to do tonight.
Fantastic. We thank you so much for joining us, Andrea. Thanks for giving us the time. You are amazing as always. We love spending time with you.
We'll be back next week for sure.
That's
Are
great.
you going to be able to come for the whole
she
show?
Just said yes.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
All righty.
Unless now, if I remember right, he has a gig, but I don't know when it is.
Okay.
So I'll have to get back with you on it.
So we're choice
if it is
2.
For the whole show, it's going to have to be. If he's doing a show, then we've got to do the show before his show.
No problem.
Yes.
Andrea, again, thank you so much for showing up and hanging out with us on HBL Radio Nation. And please, help us, try to promote the show. That would be great.
And we appreciate all your comments.
And I will come on your show anytime you want to.
Yeah.
Anytime you want.
Thank you. And your new logo will be here in a couple of days.
Fantastic.
So she's working on something about getting us a new logo. So we'll talk about that later. But
okay.
Andrea, if you have to go, thank you again so much for showing up.
Thank you. Yes, and I'll be back next week.
Okay. Great. Thanks. See you soon.
Thanks, Andrea. Thanks
Let's
for joining us here on HBL Radio
them.
Nation.
If you know how to leave.
She can't leave.
Figure it out.
She's like, I can figure it out.
Hey, I learned something from Hal.
Now there's going to be a lot of really awkward silence while we're waiting to talk about you, until you
talk about how great you are.
Of course.
Later.
Thanks.
See you, Andrea.
Ciao, Bella. So, right? She's so fun. She's so cool.
She's fantastic. And she has that, local Floridian viewpoint, which works out wonderful.
Well, I was just upstairs and I, took my little break and I was like, we are not journalists. We are not lawyers.
No.
We absorb. I'm absorbing the news. We talk about what we see.
We're sharing our
on the
opinions
fucking
with
news.
other like-minded folk.
We're just
Like nudists.
tax-paying fucking American citizens. And we have our fucking opinions. And, hey, people don't like it. I don't give fucking two shits whether they like it or not. Honestly. They don't have to watch us. They can fucking turn the channel. There's 50 million other fucking podcasts out there.
There are, including Hear the Thing.
Which is your movie thing, right?
No, that's my little spooky do.
Oh, your spooky movie thing?
No, it's not about movies.
I thought it was.
Nope. Thanks for watching. We're on week 4. Thanks for watching.
I thought you told me that it was about spooky movies, and I don't like spooky movies, so
Nope.
I don't watch.
No, it's about creepy things like the first one's about Ape Canyon. I have one of them about
fuck is
Robert
that?
the Doll. You have to watch the show to
What's
see it.
Ape
They're only
Canyon?
4 to 6 minutes each, but each Ape Canyon is a canyon in Oregon, and it was named Ape Canyon because of a particular creepy story. And I tell you that story in Hear the Thing episode 1. And then I have stories about the Melonheads, stories
Hear
about
the Thing
the
on
Johnstown
YouTube.
flood.
We can see it. Brian Gallagher.
Actually, you know what? The best place to find that is on bpgvoice.com.
bpgvoice.com.
bpgvoice.com. You'll find it on the first page.
And you
Thanks
can
for
follow us at, let's see, Brian P. Gallagher on Twitter. And I'm Die Baby Blue on Twitter. And HBL Radio Nation.
HBL _ Radio Nation.
Yeah.
On
All
Twitter.
caps. And you can find us here at YouTube.
On the YouTube channel,
we're
yep.
going to try to do a Discord. That was Andrea's thing that she's
Son
like,
of a
we should
bitch.
do a Discord. I was saying we should
We'll look into
also
it.
maybe post it on Upwire, because when YouTube bans you for saying something bad, you can always do it on Upwire. And there's a lot of people who are going to Upwire because you can't say the shit sometimes you want to say on YouTube without getting banned and getting a 2-week thing, and you can't make money either. So
Yeah, YouTube.
we
it's
don't
a
have enough
very
followers to
specific
fucking
rules.
make money for any of this bullshit.
So please like, chat, and
this
donate.
is episode 24.
Yes.
And
Self-produced vehicle.
Stick it up your ass and
24
pull the
weeks.
fucking trigger till it goes.
You know,
click.
Brian, I'm proud of ourselves. We've done this for 24 weeks straight. And even though we've had our technical difficulties.
That happened.
And
further.
Yeah.
And my
And the shit
favorite
show of fucking news. You know, I appreciate and I love you, bro.
The news
and
is
thank
just...
you for being my podcast partner. Now,
Well,
I
thank
know
you.
you're
Love you
not
too,
going to
Di.
be here next week.
I am going to be remote next week.
You're gonna be remote.
I'm going to let you know on Wednesday if I'm going to be here the whole show or if I'm going to be popping in and out.
Okay.
And we'll kind of work around
I'm
that.
trying to make it so Andrea Brower will be here for the whole show.
Yes.
And
Special
I'm
guest star
hoping
Andrea
to
Brower.
she's going to be our special guest host. And you will be popping in and out. And I'm also going to try to get John Daff. But John Daff did not show up tonight on our podcast, on our feed. I see a lot of Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Kat.
Yeah, I said hi to her. Yeah.
Jack Smith.
Sorry, Kat.
Kat. Okay, yeah. So, you know,
I ran
small.
out of juice for my chatting, so
We're still, but we have been on
yes.
for a couple hours now. Like
It's been rolling, yes.
2:45.
So what are your final words for tonight then, Di? What do you think? As we wrap this up, this wonderful extended edition of HBL Radio
Your
Nation.
penis is like a two-headed
Thanks to Andrea
snake.
Brower coming in
I
and
saw
talking
you
to us.
pissing into 2 urinals at the same time at the boat.
I just.
Why are you looking, Billy? Final words, Di.
Final word. That was right here. No, it's been a shit hose of fucking news, and we are going. I'm expecting that's going to be more. There's more shit that's gonna hit the fan.
Yes.
In my 20 pages of notes, are going to become like 30 pages of notes because the shit that's going to hit the fan. So I just want everybody
buy thicker paper because you're going to be pressing harder as you're writing.
Well, you know what's funny is that I do press hard when I write.
I can see the pages a little distorted there from
Yeah,
time to, when you're not using the ink.
They're really. I was listening, just resting. Okay, John Daff. Thank you, bro.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, so it's going to get worse. And for the red hats and the MAGAs and the fucking white supremacists out there, go crawl underneath your fucking rock again. We don't want you here. Fuck off. That's my last one.
All the training in the crazy suits and everything where you're shooting guns into the ground all over the place. Go do that in the woods. Just deal with that for a while. My final words for tonight are, I know that it's May right now, and they say that April showers bring May flowers. But the problem with Mayflowers is that they bring pilgrims, and those bastards are from England, and they always try to take over whatever fucking land that they bring. So we need to shoot them if we see them.
Son of a bitch.
Those are my final words right here on HBL Radio Nation. Like us, follow us, donate, and share. Tell your friends. Subscribe. Everything on all the socials for us. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. We are HBL Radio Nation. I am Brian P. Gallagher.
And I am Diane Russell. We will see you next week. Peace out.
Have a great week, Hiblers.
Woohoo!
And those wonderful people out there in the dark.
Fucking Democrat. Son of a bitch. Fucking Democrat. Fucktard.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.